We're good to go? All right, we'll start the meeting. We'll call the meeting to order with the first funding application. We'll have the Lowell Rang girls softball with Jim and, Mr. Larson. I figured you'd be in school. I know. All right, we'll have those guys go up and give us their.
You do all the talking, you're better at it. John, better at talking. Okay, so my name's Pat Larson. Most of you in here know me. I'm the head football coach. I also coach basketball, and Mr. Mashai, Jim and I run the Lowell Rang Memorial Girls Fast Pitch Tournament. We've been doing it, we think, 2005? Since 2005. So this is our, however manyth year, almost 19th, 20th year. This year, we are looking at, currently have 71 teams coming to town to play over 3 days, all day Saturday, all day Sunday, and 3 rounds of games on Friday night starting at 5 o'clock. Jim was looking at the stuff today. He thinks of the 72 teams that are coming, we're guessing somewhere between 50 and 60 of them are staying in hotel rooms here. Teams. 10, 12 girls a team, plus their parents, however many rooms that ends up being. We actually had a team pull out of the tournament from Sioux City because they couldn't get hotel rooms. So we're big. We've got most of South Dakota, a lot of Sioux Falls. We get Rapid City, we get Sioux City, we've gotten Mankato before. We got a regular team from out of Norfolk, Nebraska that they've sent a team up every single year for like the last 7 years. We kind of advertise ourselves occasionally as the second biggest girls fast pitch tournament in the state after the state softball tournament at the end of the season. Because we host a lot of teams and we get a lot of games through, and that's what we're about. We're trying to keep, girls fast pitch in Mitchell doesn't have a league anymore. At least it doesn't the way we used to have it when we had a league 10, 12 years ago. It fell apart due to a number of reasons, but the tournament has lived on. It's something that we've kind of championed, the two of us, because we obviously want to keep girls fast pitch softball as a thing in Mitchell. My daughter is 30 years old and hasn't played in 12 years. His youngest daughter quit playing in this tournament probably 5 years ago, and we're still here doing it because we believe in the tournament. We believe in bringing people to town, and we got some of the best facilities in the state to hold the tournament at, so that's why we keep doing it. I don't know what else you want me to tell you. That's the Cliff Notes version of what we do.
Yeah, it's a generally an A-B tournament. If you guys are familiar with the rankings and stuff like that, we charge a decent amount for entry fee. The quandary we've been battling for the last couple of years. The easiest thing to do is just raise the entry fee, then you won't need any money. But however, a lot of our teams come from the Avons and the Parkstons and the Wagners and the Winners and the Chamberlains, and that's half their budget. And we want to, and this might be their only tournament that they play in, okay? And so we want to keep it as such because it's important, especially with the rising popularity of high school softball. We feel it's really important. We just want to grow softball in this area. If we're the central location of 50-mile radius, you'll see a lot of pretty good quality teams around here. And this is their summer. Besides state, this is probably their one tournament that they come to, and so we're pretty proud of it, to be honest with you. So, any questions?
I guess, Pat, of the money you're asking for, is that going to go to something in particular?
It's going to pay for our umpire lodging. Since we don't have a fast pitch league in Mitchell anymore, we used to be able to provide all of our own umpires because we had our league in town, and we had all kinds of umpires in town that would do fast pitch. We have maybe 1 or 2 that still do fast pitch in town that's left. Otherwise, our officials come from Rapid City. We get some from Mankato. We get them from Yankton. We get them from Sioux Falls. And we start at 8 o'clock in the morning on Saturday morning, and we go till when the last game's finished up the Saturday night, it's 9, 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. We house the umpires. We're one of the few tournaments. We pay for their lodging. We buy them their food. We pay them per game. And that's what gets the umpires to keep coming back for us, is we treat them as well as we do. And that's what we'll use the money for, is to pay for their lodging.
Yep. On top of that, if we continue to grow, over the past 12 years, we've bought those portable fences that you see out there that weekend, okay? Right now, they're between $1,200 and $1,500 a piece. As they get old, parts wear out, keep maintaining them, so.
You have put money back into the complex then by doing those fences?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and we've got those fences. I mean, we use
Are they all okay right now? Are they all good shape and everything?
Some of them are worse for wear. We loan them out to, whether it be the high school programs.
Dakota Wesleyans use them.
Dakota Wesleyan universities, some baseball teams, stuff like that, when they have tournaments out there. We don't mind that at all. It's just, normal wear and tear. They're fabric. you know, so they are gonna wear out after a
Yeah,
while.
they're plastic pipes for the poles, so they get in the.
But they're in good shape, they're.
Yes.
We'll pay for it now.
We replace as many poles as we can every year as we roll them out for the tournament. We figure out we need 6 more poles because they got broke or busted, and we fix them as we go.
Any more questions?
Thank you for doing this. This is,
Yeah,
one of our
appreciate the
best
effort
weekends of
because-
the year in Mitchell, and that's,
Yeah.
have you moved the date up? I mean, it's early June. Has it always been quite that early?
We are always the weekend before the Father's Day weekend
Right.
because of
Oh, we
baseball.
have the youth baseball.
Yeah,
We used to be the end of June, and then we were conflicting with something else, so we moved it. We moved
Early
it 1 year to like the middle of June, and then we got in baseball with the Harv, Brian Wilson, so we just went a weekend earlier. So
Right.
now we're like with high school.
We're the first
We're
tournament
the
of
first
game
tournament of the year
after
now.
State high school softball tournament. And our numbers reflect that because our numbers in the 10s and 12s and 14s are the largest they've ever been. The high school division, the 16s and 18s, are a little bit weak right now. But nonetheless, it's the largest tournament we've ever had. We're at 72 teams. We've been at 60 to 62 in all the years past. This is, I mean, we're stretching it out a little bit. We're seeing what we can handle.
And we've
So how
got-
many teams play on Friday then? How many come in like?
Well, if we play 3 rounds on 8 fields, that's 24 games. That's be 48 teams will play Friday night.
So over half of your teams are gonna be staying over Friday and Saturday.
Yes.
night.
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah.
And a lot of them, again, the ones that come from further away, like when I do the scheduling, like I try to make sure the Rapid City teams, if they don't play Friday night, they play first thing Saturday morning. So they spend the night Friday night, even if they don't play. I might make the Brandons and the Sioux Fallses and the Parkstons later in the day on Saturday because they're probably played Friday night, drove home, and then are coming back. But we try to keep it so that the teams that are in town play earlier, and we try to get them in hotels as much as humanly possible.
Perfect.
Anything else? Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, folks.
Next, we'll do the Palace City Mountain Bike Classic with Courtney and Emily.
Hello, guys. So if you know anything about biking, you know I'd probably be involved and Emily would probably be right behind us talking about this. So this event was previously known as Beers and Gears Mountain Bike Race, but we did a little rebranding this year. Part of that was because we created a new nonprofit in town called MAC Area Events, which essentially is going to combine quite a few events in the Mitchell community to try and get people out and being active. So we wanted to rebrand to the Palace City Mountain Bike Classic just to bring in some younger levels. We thought maybe the name Beers threw off some families from coming, and it was just an honored request of friends of ours. So our mountain bike race, last year we had 65 riders, which we're not bringing 70 teams into town, but bringing 65 people from all over to the Mitchell Bike Trails is a huge thing. We have some of the best single track on the eastern side of the state, and that's a guaranteed answer from anybody who rides. So right now, we have about 41 registered riders. We're on track to have about 90 riders this year. 30% of those riders are coming from out of town. So honestly, our people aren't normally hotel people. Bikers, it's just a biking thing. They go to the campgrounds because they don't want their bikes in a hotel room. They are just camping people. So most of our people are staying at Lake Mitchell Campground or the campgrounds around town. We bring them in Friday night for a rider social just to get them into Mitchell on Friday, and we start at 7:30 on Saturday morning. This year, we added a couple different routes. We're actually having a 10 and under event where we're putting a 4-mile loop on the trails for the younger kids, and then we are doing 5 and under this year, a half-a-mile loop for those little kids, and then a Strider race. We have an e-bike we're giving away to the younger kids from one of our sponsors, so we're hoping that's a really good draw this year. But it's one of the only mountain bike races on the eastern side. You can go to Rapid. You can definitely find these races out west, but Mitchell really is the only place. There's single track in Brookings and Sioux Falls, but they don't really host the caliber of these races. So all the money we raised too, we put back into Mitchell. Last year, we put Striders into the preschools to get some of the preschool kids out riding, or we're putting the money back into the bike club so they can maintain the trails. This year, I guess the profits Kevin knows we'll be trying to buy outdoor workout equipment to put around the city. So we do try to put all the profits back into Mitchell, so. Our money request always is timing equipment. It's our biggest cost. Has to be pretty specific timing equipment to time the segments and the riders. So we have to bring a company out of Minnesota to do it. She's the best in the business, honestly. She does stuff in Mitchell, 3 different events in Mitchell. She just timed the Brookings Half Marathon last weekend. So that's our biggest cost always is our timing equipment.
Well, what is the cost on the timing equipment alone?
$18.85 basically for the
Just to use
weekend.
it for the weekend?
Correct, yeah.
Oh, really?
And that's really just
With
the
the
equipment with the operator. But Mary is, honestly, she's a great gal. So she, a side note, she spends her money back in Mitchell. She just bought bikes for her crew to be able to buy them. She bought them in South Dakota versus a bike shop in Minnesota. So that was really nice. But her travel costs are only about $250. It really is the use of the equipment. And those timing chips for the riders are about $12 a timing chip to like have them on their number plates. So the travel isn't so expensive. She usually makes us a pretty good deal just with it. She herself will come back instead of bringing her staff. So we always just have to get her a hotel room and then a little mileage. So
Any questions? All right, thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
thanks.
Next, we'll do Arts in the Park with Nancy Comenius.
Hi, I'm Nancy Conzemius. I'm not a very good speaker, so please bear with me. We recently formed in April of this year, and we put together a 501c3 nonprofit to put on the Arts in the Park since it's been absent for 17 years. So far to date, we have right around 100 applicants, vendors. Most of those vendors are from out of state. We have them coming from Casper, Wyoming, Minneapolis area, Omaha, Rapid City, and everywhere. And if the applications keep coming in at this rate, we're going to surpass 100 pretty easily. And our event is running July 26th through the 28th, but the setup is going to start on the 25th. And a lot of the out-of-state and out-of-town people are going to be setting up at that time. So they will need to stay somewhere while they're here for the 3-4 nights. And we are going to use the money to help with our city fees, the rental of picnic tables and bandstands, bleachers, security, because we're going to have to provide security for our vendors, especially during the overnight hours of the events, and advertising, insurance, the list goes on. And I don't know how many people we're going to have, but in the past, they drew up to 9,000 people for the event. So I'm hoping that we get somewhere close to that.
We haven't had that at Hitchcock in 17 years.
That's the last
Really?
documented thing I could find by going through the archives down at the
There.
Carnegie
How did you get
Resource
started
Center.
on this then, since we haven't had it in a long time?
Well, I actually been talking to people about it for years, and I just never had anybody willing to help me throw it together, because I know I couldn't do it just one person. So I got to talking to a friend one night at a local fundraiser for area community theater, and he asked if I still wanted to do it. And I said, yeah, I just need some help. So he's like, if I help you, will you put it on? And I said, definitely. So here we are.
Very good, thank you.
It's a great event in the past, so. thanks for doing
Questions?
it. Yeah.
I hope it's fun.
Any other questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Now we'll go to the first one. We'll go to the Sodak 16 boys basketball with Corey.
Yeah, so it's similar to what we've had in the past with basketball, with volleyball. It always comes in after the fact, a little later than usual this year. Just my spring got away from me. But so this $700 covers the Corn Palace grant for that one night for the 2 games that we had here on March 5th.
Are they talking about going to home sites next year, the Activity Association? That's done, so this will be happening again then?
So for the last 2 years now, the coaches say they want it, but then when it gets to the East to vote, they vote it down.
Okay,
So,
because of seating issues, I would assume.
yeah, travel, and they try to find a location somewhere in the middle, slightly closer to the high seed, which is easy in theory, but a little bit more difficult to make work when you got, because you don't know the matchups until 4 days before.
But we're still gonna be in the running for it, looks like we have been.
Yep.
The coaches seem to be really favoring going back to the seed.
Because the coach wanted it.
Right, I mean, I heard hardly any support for the Sodak. I go, oh, that's been good for the Corn Palace, certainly in Mitchell. That was, in 2023, that was our biggest basketball event of the year, was a Sodak girls game, a doubleheader. So I'm glad to see that we still can host those.
Anything else?
And Corey has to apply for those, obviously the Corn Palace, the city's a benefactor, but the athletic director has to put a bid in to host them, so he has to put forth a lot of work to do that. We appreciate it.
Anything else? Okay, we'll go on to the approval of the minutes from the last meeting.
Should be a copy in your guys' packet there. I'll get it on the screen here as well.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Tim, second by Jason. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Against, nay. Motion passes.
Jason got it.
Jason, financial report.
Okay, year-to-date financials, Sports and Events Authority for, as of April 30th, 2024. A copy of this should be in your packet as well. Our year-to-date expenses, so these would be the award checks that have been written so far, $46,250, which leaves the committee with a current available fund balance of $53,750. I do want to note these two totals do reflect the $6,000 Special Olympics State Basketball Tournament refund check.
Did we get that back?
Yes. So a current available fund balance of going forward of $53,750. The total collections by month chart, we still have one establishment past due for the full collections in February collections. Collections in March did increase to $14,276.50 with zero past due. And then the collections in April for the month of March was $17,659 or $769 with zero past due. And that would give us a year-to-date total collections total of $61,027.50, which is equal to 32,929 hotel room nights sold through April. Our room nights sold year-to-date comparison to 2023, we're down 3%, which is 981 room nights sold. 2022, we're down 6.9%, which is 2,284 room nights sold. 2021, we are up 14.1%, which is 4,647 room nights sold. 2020, up 0.8%, which is 248. 2019, up 5.8%, which is 1,904 room nights sold. And 2018, down 2.3%, which is 741 room nights sold.
We get any money out of those three hotels that aren't in the, like the Coachman, the Siesta?
Nope, there's been no
Okay.
collections submitted for them.
So if we're down compared to like 21 or 22 or whatever, could that be reflective on the fact that the Ramada is no longer there and hotels are sold out? Where, in other words, would that have anything to do with that? We're nights, we are sold out, but if we'd have had the Ramada still, it would have been bigger numbers. Can that be reflective of that, you think?
I guess our comparison is doing the room nights sold. I mean, I guess, yes, it would be beneficial to have an extra 100 hotel rooms.
I don't think they sell out in April and stuff, no.
I don't know. No,
But,
probably
you know,
not.
these in comparison, again, Special Olympics state basketball, that was cut, a night short. That's not 1,000 hotel rooms, but,
Probably
pretty
500.
substantial. Again, like we know, December through March, I mean, weather permitting. You know, Hanson Classic, the girls was canceled.
Additionally, you have 3 hotels that aren't in the new bid that were in the old bid, so that would be some difference in rooms too, in addition to the Ramada.
So instead of all 15 hotels submitting collections, we're just getting 12 of the 15.
You need a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the financial report as presented.
Motion by Doug, second by Kevin. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Against, nay. Motion passed. Evaluation forms.
Okay, I'll take the next few agenda items here and try to breeze through them. We had 6 evaluation forms submitted. First one was for the Hanson Classics. As I just said, the girls' event due to weather was canceled on January 13th. The boys' classic took place January 20th. The event met expectations. Coach Bridge greatly appreciates the assistance and support from the SEA. Just stated it's not able to accurately track the hotel room nights sold, but he does know, or he knows that there were people from teams staying at, he said, the following hotels: so the Comfort, the Hampton, Holiday, Kelly, Quality, and Super 8. SEA awarded $3,000, which was $1,500 for each classic because of the cancellation for the girls. He did return $1,500 of that. And the awarded funds were used for hospitality for the workers and the teams. Financials, he provided a Corn Palace rental agreement, looks like for the makeup game, 2 makeup games here on February 3rd. So this was the balance that Corn Palace submitted back to them. And then they did submit a full Corn Palace rental agreement for the Boys Classic on January 20th, which this amount was submitted to the Hanson Classic, correct?
Yes.
Okay. He did share a few line items as far as income and some additional expenses. And then I included this in the packet as well. So they were able to make up 7 of the 8 girls' classic games in the following weeks.
Some were played here too, weren't there? I mean, 5 of them were played, 5 of the games were played here?
Okay, moving on. The next evaluation form and financials was the Dakota Awati Challenge. This was the end of January, the 25th through the 27th. The event met expectations. Schools and fans appreciated the availability of hotel rooms and eating establishments. Over the 3 days, 935 tickets were sold. The event consisted of 16 teams, so 8 girls, 8 boys. On Friday, there were 14 hand game teams up in the Armory, and Saturday there were 5 schools or teams that participated in archery up in the Armory. The hotel motel room nights sold. I'll just update the wording on this. Records show, so it'd be roughly around 200 hotel room nights per night. So you could estimate the range of between 500 and 600 for the entirety of the event. SEA awarded $2,500, along with the gracious support of 11 comp rooms for the officials. The funds were used to pay for the awards for the event, and then the profit that they obtain is used to go towards next year's event. And then they provided the Corn Palace rental agreement here as well, where $279 went back to the Dakota Awati Challenge.
One thing I think maybe worth pointing out, they, for all the other events we host, they have athletic trainings in a partnership with Avera. or in the case of, I don't know if I ever did the Hoop City or not, but they had to hire trainers. We encouraged them to have athletic trainers here. So was a substantial cost to them, but I thought it was the right thing to do. They take care of their athletes, and they appreciated it. The coaches certainly did. So they were staffed for every game here. So you can see that amount in there. And then, yeah, table workers. We used the Dakota Wesleyan University baseball team, which for the most part, 90% of that went just fine. We had one rough evening, which we have a solution to for next year.
Just a side note, the Corn Palace lobby, they had full of variety of vendors. Sun Gold Sports was included in that. McLeod's used their time and talents to put together the program for the event, and as well as 2 bracket posters.
So the attendance numbers, are they what, I mean, the amount of attendance,
If you go back up
is
to
that
ticket
expected,
sales,
or is it lower than we
well,
expected? Or?
well, you saw we sent them a check for $200. I thought, I redid this like 4 times thinking, what did I miss? When they saw it, when they did their finals, they go, oh, this is awesome. This is the best we've had.
As far as tickets sold for the event?
And the pay-per-view, the pay-per-view. It's never been a big, highly attended event, but it's the athletes that are here and staying and eating. So yes, they were very happy with their attendance. It was better than it had been for a
Really?
long time. Yes.
Okay.
Yep. Which that surprised me because it was not a big event fan-wise, but the place was busy. The town was busy with kids certainly.
How many total games were there?
24. It started at 10 on the first morning and then 9 on the rest of the mornings. And that first day, there were some running clock games because they're 1 versus 8 and that kind of thing. It was about what we expected as far as quality of basketball. But yes, overall, they were very pleased.
Hey, they're athletic trainers. Well, hey, mine's $50 a game. They're paying their $72.50. I hope that don't get on.
Well, they did it by the hour. They paid them.
Yeah, I do mine by the game. That's what I was asking.
Yeah, I guess I don't know what that. Well, you divide that by 24, but or the hours I should say they were here, because the athletic trainer would come an hour before probably. And that was actually a bid. We just asked them for a bid to cover the tournament, and that's what we presented to them, and they could decide to have it or not have it, and they thought it'd be worthwhile. We didn't, I guess, force it. We just arranged it for them. It was going to be up to them to pay for it.
That's a good idea, that trainers. I don't think I'll run without trainers.
Move on to the next one here is the DW's Indoor Futsal Classic Tournament, February 23rd through the 25th. The event exceeded expectations. The event grew from 60 teams in 2023 to they had 87 this year. He did comment here about looking to create an outdoor event, so I'll just share that quickly and then get back to the evaluation form. So I had a conversation with Coach Reinhard on April 30th. Their idea of a Memorial Weekend soccer tournament has been, I guess, put on hold after just calling around to teams throughout the state, the other states. Their schedules are full. They already have tournaments booked. It makes no sense to try to put together a tournament because the teams, they're busy. There's no interest to fit another tournament in their schedule. So the idea is currently in July, that's the soccer's off season. Their first idea is to host a 3-day summer skills camp, where this would be, it sounded like in collaboration with the Mitchell Soccer Club or Soccer Association. They're hoping for 100 to 200 athletes for that. And then their second idea would be to contact GPAC coaches and do some sort of college ID or recruitment showcase. Bring teams, again, that would be something that would start small, do a bracket, round robin type tournament, and hopefully with success, it would grow in the years to come. So that's, I guess, a quick update on where we're at with that. I mean, as far as the indoor Futsal Classic, 2,000 to 3,000 spectators. Again, 87 teams, up from 60 the year before. Hotel room nights sold, 150 to 200. You know, you do the math, I feel like there's probably was more than that. SEA awarded 2,500, went strictly to refereeing costs, and then the profit provided this profit loss statement, profit of 18,581.61. It's just an annual men's and women's soccer fundraiser that gets split between the two teams. The next one was the Combat Veterans Motorcycle Association's Comedy Night, March 16th. They had better weather than the year before. The event exceeded expectations. Excellent turnout. Fun was had by all. 160 attendance. 14 room nights sold. That was hosted out at the Highland Hotels, Comfort Inn, Hampton, Kelly, and Thunderbird. SEA awarded 1,000, used for venue and advertising. Their total profit, kind of hard to read. Line items here, $5,885 and what is that, 93 cents. Where they did donate 3,000 back to helping with horsepower. And the last one here, Lucky Devils Adult Hockey Tournament, April 12th through the 14th. The event met expectations, ran on schedule. Participants had a great time in Mitchell. Different variety of events, places they attended and ate. Total spectator attendance of 200 to 300. Maxed out in teams, 20 teams, 280 players. 88 room nights sold. Other lodging options they used as well. SEA awarded $3,000 to pay for the city ice time bill, and a profit loss provided. So this would be for 2024 on the left, $10,045.58, which the idea to start a sponsorship here in town for 8U hockey, and ironically call it the Little Devils. We had one Sports and Events Authority survey submitted here. This was an event that I just reached out to Nikki Mark here. They hosted this Skills USA at MTC. It's just an annual skills conference that goes around Watertown, Rapid City, here in Mitchell on a rotation. It was hosted here, I believe, towards the end of April. And then just a couple pictures of banners. This was for the Lucky Devils Adult Hockey Tournament here at the Mitchell Activities Center. And then here for the Harv Sports Shop Soccer Classic. And not very good here, but Show Choir Classic. Here I got a card sent to SEA. All the signatures, just thanking SEA for their grant award and then the support of their Show Choir Classic. Let's see. And then I guess just back on the agenda, again, I continue to include upcoming events. I won't go through all of them, but I do just want to highlight here on Saturday, June 8th, since the MAC Triathlon did receive Sports and Events Authority grant funding, Saturday, June 8th, Hitchcock Park starts in the Mitchell Aquatic Center. Full list of events you can always find on the Mitchell Chamber events calendar. I guess if there's any comments or questions.
Good.
Go into executive session.
Yeah, we'll go to executive session. We're good to go? Okay. Back to the funding applications. We'll start out with the Sodak 16 boys basketball for a request of $700.
Move approval of $700.
Motion by Tim,
I'll second it.
second by Jocko. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Against nay? Motion passed for 700. And Corey will abstain. Lorraine Memorial Fast Pitch Softball Tournament for a request of $3,500.
I make a motion that we give $2,000.
I'll second it.
A motion by Jocko, second by Leonard. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Against nay? Motion passes for $2,000. Palace City Mountain Bike Classic, request for $2,000.
Make a motion to award $1,500 specific for timing system, please.
Motion by Doug, second by Jason. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Against nay? 1,500 passes. Arts in the Park for $1,000.
Make a motion for 1,000.
Would second that?
LaRue makes a motion, Doug seconds it for 1,000. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Against nay? Motion passed. We're adjourned. Next meeting is, let me see, is it on here?
June 11th.
June 11th.